All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,000 crore at Haldwani in Uttarakhand today. Election Commission team to hold discussions with Chief Secretary and DGP to review preparations for upcoming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 143 crore 75 lakh mark. Night curfew to be imposed in Kerala from tonight to contain COVID-19. WHO warns of tsunami of COVID cases due to simultaneous circulation of Delta and Omicron variants. 6 terrorists killed in 2 different encounters with security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. In cricket, India to lock horns with Bangladesh in semi-finals of Under-19 Asia Cup at Sharjah today, and Men in Blue 6 wickets away from winning first test against South Africa at Centurion. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is a cause of concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Haldwani in Uttarakhand today. Mr. Modi will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees. Among the 23 projects, foundation stone will be laid for 17 projects worth over 14,100 crore rupees. These projects cover a wide array of sectors and areas across the state, including irrigation, road, housing, health infrastructure, industry, sanitation and drinking water supply. The program will witness inauguration of 6 projects, including multiple road widening projects, a hydropower project in Pithoragarh, and projects to improve sewerage network in Nainital. The cumulative cost of the projects being inaugurated is over 3,400 crore rupees. Mr. Modi laid the foundation stone of the Lakwad multi-purpose project to be built at the cost of about 5,750 crore rupees. Talking to All India Radio, Minister of States in Defence, Ajay Bhatt said this project will help to provide supply of drinking water to 6 states.
5,750 करोड़ की लागत से बनने वाली लखवाड़ बहुउद्देशीय परियोजना की आधारशिला भी रखी जाएगी। यह योजना 1976 से लंबित थी। यह परियोजना 300 मेगावाट जल विद्युत उत्पादन करेगी और उत्तराखंड, उत्तर प्रदेश, हरियाणा, दिल्ली, हिमाचल प्रदेश और राजस्थान को पेयजल की आपूर्ति करने में भी सक्षम बनाएगी। काशीपुर एवं सितारगंज में आर्थिक रूप से कमजोर वर्ग के लोगों के लिए करीब 2,400 घर भी बनाए जाएंगे। उनकी आधारशिला भी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी आज रखने वाले हैं। ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में नल और जल आपूर्ति की सुधार के लिए 13 जिलों में 73 जल आपूर्ति योजनाओं की आधारशिला भी आज प्रधानमंत्री जी रख रहे हैं। काशीपुर में 41 एकड़ अरोमा पार्क, सितारगंज में 40 एकड़ पर प्लास्टिक औद्योगिक पार्क की आधारशिला भी रखी जाएगी।
In line with the Prime Minister's vision to improve connectivity at far-flung places of the country, inauguration and foundation stone laying of multiple road sector projects worth about 8,700 crore rupees would be done. The projects whose foundation stones would be laid include 4 laning of 85 kilometers Muradabad-Kashipur road to be built at a cost of about 4,000 crore rupees and 2 laning of 22 kilometer stretch of Gadarpur-Dineshpur-Madgod Haldwani road and 18 kilometer stretch of Kitcha to Pantnagar. The road projects being inaugurated by Mr. Modi include a project of 99-kilometer road widening from Nagina to Kashipur, built at the cost of over 2,500 crore rupees, and projects to widen the road at 3 stretches in the strategic Tanakpur-Pithoragarh road, built under all-weather road project at the cost of over 780 crore rupees. Mr. Modi will also lay the foundation stone of AIIMS Rishikesh Satellite Centre in Udham Singh Nagar district and Jagjeevan Ram Government Medical College at Pithoragarh. Talking to AIR News, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami said,
हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा दिन है। आज कुमाऊं के मुख्य द्वार हल्द्वानी में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी 17,500 करोड़ की योजनाओं का लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास करने वाले हैं, जिसमें प्रमुख रूप से हमारे यहाँ का जो कुमाऊं क्षेत्र के लिए खुलने वाला एम्स का सैटेलाइट सेंटर है। इसके अलावा अन्य बहुत सारी योजनाएं, जिसमें मेडिकल कॉलेज है पिथौरागढ़ का, बहुत सारे नेशनल हाईवेज के बड़े बड़ी रोडें हैं, अन्य क्षेत्रों के जो विकास के कार्य हैं, उन सभी का वो लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास करेंगे। यहाँ लोगों में उनको लेकर बहुत उत्साह है और प्रधानमंत्री जी जब भी आते हैं तो निश्चित रूप से उत्तराखंड के लोग बड़ी संख्या में उनको सुनने के लिए आते हैं। तो हल्द्वानी में आज सुबह से ही जो है बहुत बड़ा लोगों का आना जाना यहाँ पर शुरू हो गया है। हम माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हैं सभी उत्तराखंड के लोग।
A team of the Election Commission of India will hold discussions with the Chief Secretary and the Director General of Police of Uttar Pradesh today on the last day of their 3-day visit to the state. The team, led by Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra, reached Lucknow on Tuesday to take stock of the poll preparedness for the upcoming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. More details from our correspondent.
After having elaborate discussions with the senior administrative and police officials of the state administration and expenditure officials yesterday, the full Election Commission team will have discussions regarding the preparedness for assembly elections with the DGP and Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh today morning in Lucknow. Prior to the meeting, the Commission will inaugurate systematic voters education and electoral participation sweep exhibition and flag off the Matdata Express for the awareness of voters. Later in the afternoon, Commission will brief media about the outcome of the meetings before departure. On Tuesday, the ECI team had interacted with the representatives of various political parties. Poll campaign is intensifying day by day in the state, which has 403 assembly seats. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 143 crore 75 lakh mark. Out of the total vaccination, more than 84 crore 13 lakh vaccine doses have been given as the first dose, while over 59 crore 61 lakh doses have been administered as the second dose. The Health Ministry said more than 57 lakh doses of COVID vaccine were administered yesterday. As part of the nationwide vaccination drive, the centre has been supporting the states and union territories by providing them COVID vaccines free of cost. The national capital, Delhi, reported 923 fresh COVID-19 cases yesterday. It is the highest single-day rise since 30th of May this year, when the city recorded 946 new cases. No fatality has been reported in the last 24 hours. The COVID positivity rate in Delhi has crossed 1%. The positivity rate presently stands at 1.29%, and it is highest in the last 7 months. 238 cases of the new COVID variant Omicron has been detected in the city till now. Out of these, 57 have been discharged from the hospitals.
The Rajasthan government has imposed a slew of restrictions in the state to curtail the spread of COVID-19. The decision was taken at a meeting of the state cabinet chaired by Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot yesterday. We have a report.
In the new guidelines, instructions has been given to ensure effective compliance of the already imposed night curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. In view of programs to be organized on New Year's Eve, relaxation in night curfew has been given on December 31st. Emphasis has been laid on the necessity of mask and strict adherence to COVID-appropriate behavior. Action will be taken under the Disaster Management Act for violating the guidelines. It has been made mandatory for all eligible people in the state to get both doses of COVID vaccine by January 31st. After these, people who do not get both the doses will not be allowed at public places. A maximum of 200 people will be allowed to participate in public, social, political programs and marriage functions in the state. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
Night curfew will be imposed in Kerala from tonight in view of increasing cases of Omicron variant of COVID-19 in the state. The night curfew will be enforced from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and will continue till the 2nd of January. The Department of Disaster Management said no religious, political, cultural or social gatherings, including in churches and other public places, would be allowed in the state after 10 p.m. during this period. Those who go out for urgent needs should carry a certificate citing the valid reason. New Year celebrations will not be allowed after 10 p.m. Movie screenings are allowed only till 10 p.m. The central team assessing the Omicron situation in Kerala visited Palakkad district yesterday. Meanwhile, Kerala confirmed 2,846 new cases of COVID-19 during the last 24 hours. The Goa government has announced a slew of restrictions to check the spread of the coronavirus infection in the state in view of upcoming New Year celebrations. Those entering Goa must be fully vaccinated or should carry an RT-PCR COVID-negative certificate. Also, 15 days should have elapsed since administration of second dose of the vaccine. The RT-PCR COVID-negative test should have been conducted within 24 hours before entering the state. Casinos, cinema halls, auditoriums, river cruises, water parks and entertainment parks are to be operated at a maximum of 50% capacity. World Health Organization (WHO) has warned that the simultaneous circulation of Delta and Omicron variants is driving a dangerous tsunami of COVID-19 cases. Briefing media yesterday, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said the twin threats of the two variants are now driving up cases to record numbers, leading to spikes in hospitalizations and deaths. Dr. Tedros said this is and will continue to put immense pressure on exhausted health workers and put health systems on the brink of collapse. The WHO said new global cases had risen by 11% last week, while the US and France both registered record daily case numbers yesterday. France reported Europe's highest ever daily figure for the second day in a row at 208,000 cases, and the US has reported a record average of 265,427 cases a day over the last week, according to Johns Hopkins.
You're listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,000 crore at Haldwani in Uttarakhand today. Election Commission team to hold discussions with Chief Secretary and DGP to review preparations for upcoming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 143 crore 75 lakh mark. Night curfew to be imposed in Kerala from tonight to contain COVID-19. WHO warns of tsunami of COVID cases due to simultaneous circulation of Delta and Omicron variants. 6 terrorists killed in 2 different encounters with security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. In cricket, India to lock horns with Bangladesh in semi-finals of Under-19 Asia Cup at Sharjah today, and Men in Blue 6 wickets away from winning first test against South Africa at Centurion. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
In Jammu and Kashmir, 6 terrorists have been killed in 2 different encounters with security forces in Kulkam and Anantana districts. According to a police spokesperson, an encounter broke out late last evening when security forces were conducting search operations in the Mirham area of Kulkam district and came under heavy fire from the hiding terrorists. The gunfire was retaliated by the security forces, resulting in deaths of 2 local terrorists and 1 Pakistani terrorist. The slain terrorists were affiliated with terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed JEM. 1 M4 and 2 AK-47 rifles were recovered from the encounter site. In another encounter at Naugam area of Anantana district late last evening, 3 more terrorists were gunned down by security forces. A policeman also sustained injuries during the gunfight and is undergoing treatment. Talking to AIR, DGP Jammu and Kashmir Dilbag Singh said the terrorist belonged to JEM outfit and termed the operation as a big success for the security forces.
2 अलग-अलग जगहों पे ऑपरेशन पिछली रात लॉन्च किए थे। दोनों ऑपरेशन कामयाबी से कंडक्ट हुए हैं। एक ऑपरेशन अनंतनाग कोरू के एरिया में हो रहा था, जिसमें 3 दहशतगर्द मारे गए हैं, और दूसरा ऑपरेशन नीरहाबा कुलगाम में हो रहा था, उसमें भी दहशतगर्द मारे गए हैं। अनंतनाग के ऑपरेशन में मारे गए दहशतगर्द है, उनकी पहचान की जा रही है, जबकि कुलगाम में जो 3 दहशतगर्द मारे गए उनकी पहचान जैश-ए-मोहम्मद के साथ वाबस्तगी से की गई है। उसमें एक फॉरेन टेररिस्ट है जो बहुत टॉप कमांडर लेवल का टेररिस्ट है, और उसके साथ 2 लोकल उसके साथी हैं। कुलगाम के ऑपरेशन में 3 आतंकवादियों के मारे जाने के साथ 4 बड़े हथियार और बाकी काफी मकदार में जो असला मिशन पकड़ा गया है। अनंतनाग में भी काफी बड़ी मकदार में असला और मिशन पकड़ा गया है। कुलगाम के ऑपरेशन जो बिल्कुल साफ सुथरा कंक्लूड हुआ, उसमें हमारी तरफ कोई लॉस नहीं है, और ऑपरेशन दोनों जगह पे कंक्लूड हो चुके हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release the 10th installment of financial benefit under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme on the 1st of January at 12:30 p.m. through video conferencing. More than 20,000 crore rupees will be transferred to more than 10 crore beneficiaries. The Prime Minister will also release equity grant of more than 14 crore rupees to about 351 farmer produce organizations, FPOs, which will benefit more than 1,24,000 farmers.
The News Services Division of All India Radio presents 2021, the year that was. Let us take a look at the notable events and developments in the year. From politics to sports, business to global affairs, what made headlines in the year gone by? To know more, join us on 30th December on FM Gold Channel 100.1 MHz and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website, newsonair.nic.in, and on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official.
The News Services Division brings you glimpses of the year 2021 in its special year-ender series, The Year That Was. Today we take a look at life after Ujjwala 2.0. The second phase of Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana or Ujjwala 2.0 was launched in August this year by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to provide 1 crore deposit-free LPG connections to women members of poor households.
बहनों के स्वास्थ्य, सुविधा और सशक्तिकरण के इस संकल्प को उज्ज्वला योजना ने बहुत बड़ा बल दिया है। योजना के पहले चरण में 8 करोड़ गरीब, दलित, वंचित, पिछड़े, आदिवासी परिवारों की बहनों को मुफ्त गैस कनेक्शन दिया गया। इसका कितना लाभ हुआ है, ये हमने कोरोना काल में देखा। जब बाहर आना जाना बंद था, काम धंधे बंद थे, तब करोड़ गरीब परिवारों को कई महीनों तक मुफ्त गैस सिलेंडर दिए गए। कल्पना कीजिए, उज्ज्वला नहीं होती तो संकट काल में हमारी इन गरीब बहनों की स्थिति क्या होती?
We have a report on this from our correspondent.
Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana played a remarkable role in making the lives of women better and convenient. With the use of LPG gas cylinders, the health condition of women improved a lot as they stopped using polluting cooking fuels like firewood, coal and cow dung cakes. It also made women's life convenient by reducing time and effort put by them while cooking. Efforts to provide LPG gas connections to BPL families will ensure universal access to LPG in the country. Under the second phase of Ujjwala scheme, the beneficiaries are given deposit-free LPG connections along with free first refill and stove. Special provision has also been made for the migrant families to avail new LPG connections. Migrant applicant can submit a self-declaration which is accepted as a valid proof of address and family composition. In the current financial year, 84% of beneficiaries who had got LPG connections under the Ujjwala scheme have come back for refill. This shows that the gas cylinder is now becoming an important part in the lives of poor people. Bhupendra Singh, AIR News, New Delhi.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
December 1943, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose hoisted the national flag for the first time at the Gymkhana ground, now known as Netaji Stadium in Port Blair, and announced the islands to be the first Indian territory freed from British rule.
तूफान हिंद लाएंगे, वो शान हिंद लाएंगे, फिरंगियों की कौम पर वो कहर बन के छाएंगे, सुभाष जी वो जाने हिंद।
Netaji named Andaman Islands as Shaheed and Nicobar Islands as Swaraj, and appointed INA General A.D. Loganathan as the governor of the islands. The Azad Hind government was no more only a government in exile, but had its own land, own currency, civil code and stamps.
We also remember Jaintia freedom fighter U Kiang Nangba, who was martyred on December the 30th, 1862. U Kiang Nangba was born in Jovai, and unlike other freedom fighters of the region, he had no royal background and was a common farmer. Though he was only a child when the British annexed the Jaintia kingdom in 1835, he was greatly disturbed by the discriminatory policies of the Britishers. The British initially adopted a policy of least interference and left the Jaintia people almost entirely to themselves for a period of more than 2 decades. However, by 1860, they started increasing the tax burden on the Jaintias, which created a turmoil amongst them. Jaintias rose up in a fierce rebellion in 1862 under the leadership of young U Kiang Nangba. Nangba emerged as a great organizer and kept his identity secret to avoid arrest.
He managed to outwit the British intelligence service and started gathering all the Dolois and Sirdars without causing any suspicion. However, the Jaintias were ultimately defeated because of the superior might of the British. In the unequal fight that ensued, hundreds of Jaintias were killed and U Kiang Nangba was betrayed, captured and hanged publicly on December the 30th, 1862. We salute the great freedom fighter.
We also remember freedom fighter and educationist Kanhaiyalal Maniklal Munshi, who was born on the 30th of December 1887 in Bharuch, Gujarat. He is the founder of the renowned educational institution Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in 1938 with the blessings of Mahatma Gandhi.
Munshi was a good student and topped his BA and LLB exams. He was influenced by revolutionary leader Sri Aurobindo Ghosh to join the freedom struggle. While practicing law in Bombay, he joined Annie Besant's Home Rule League and met many leading freedom fighters of the time, such as Surendranath Banerjee and Mahatma Gandhi.
In 1927, he was elected to the Bombay Legislative Assembly, but after the Bardoli Satyagraha, he resigned under the influence of Mahatma Gandhi. He also participated in the civil disobedience movement and was imprisoned twice. Munshi was elected again in 1937 Bombay presidency elections and became the Home Minister of the Bombay Presidency and helped suppress the communal riots in the
Joint Assembly of India and worked with several committees, including the Drafting Committee, Advisory Committee, Subcommittee on Fundamental Rights and the ad hoc flag committee that selected the flag of India in August 1947.
Till his death in 1971, Munshi remained committed to the nation. We salute this great patriot.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase hallmarked gold jewellery. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
In cricket, India will lock horns with Bangladesh in the semi-finals of the ACC Under-19 Asia Cup at Sharjah today. The match will begin at 11 a.m. Indian time.
In cricket, India needs 6 wickets to win the first test against South Africa as the match enters the final day at Centurion today. The Proteas were 94 for 4 at stumps on day 4 yesterday while chasing a 305-run target set by the visitors.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening. Jammu will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will have mainly clear sky. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening. The national capital Delhi is likely to experience moderate fog. Minimum temperature was 8. And the maximum will be around 20 degrees Celsius. In Mumbai, the minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 30. The city is expected to have mainly clear sky. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Migrants in mind, Delhi says no new curbs for now, writes the Indian Express. Wait, watch. Delhi to not raise alert level yet, headlines the Hindustan Times. Delhi added 923 new cases. Omicron likely dominant variant now, reports the paper. 70% COVID surge in Mumbai, 50% in Delhi in one day, writes the Pioneer. PM Modi's UAE visit pushed amid concerns about Omicron variant spreads, writes the Hindustan Times. The government has allowed taxpayers to e-verify their income tax returns for fiscal 2019-2020 by February 28, 2022, reports the Pioneer. And finally, severe cold wave to ring in New Year in North India, reports the Pioneer. Minimum temperature could fall by 4 degrees Celsius in the next 2 days, warns the paper.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate and lay foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,000 crore rupees at Haldwani in Uttarakhand today. Election Commission team to hold discussions with Chief Secretary and DGP to review preparations for upcoming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crosses 143 crore 75 lakh mark. Night curfew to be imposed in Kerala from tonight to contain COVID-19. WHO warns of tsunami of COVID cases due to simultaneous circulation of Delta and Omicron variants. 6 terrorists killed in 2 different encounters with security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. In cricket, India to lock horns with Bangladesh in semi-finals of Under-19 Asia Cup at Sharjah today, and Men in Blue 6 wickets away from winning first test against South Africa at Centurion. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.